Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99 back with some hashtag CB99 talks. Make sure y'all subscribe. Man, it's been a crazy week for sports, man. Basketball, college basketball, golf, hockey. All of these different sporting events have been like postponed due to this coronavirus. This whole coronavirus scare has everybody in an uproar right now. A lot of events, events with over 100 people have been canceled. I've heard, even some local boxing events. And, that's what I want to talk about, these combat sports events. Shakur Stevenson versus Miguel Mariota, that card was canceled last night, as well as Bellator 241. And they were all closed venues. No audience members or anything were going to be there, but they still postponed them. But on the plus side, what I want to talk about today is Dana White, UFC Fight Night 170 is still taking place tonight. And several of his cards in the future is still going to be taking place, but he's just going to be following that regulation that, closed venues, just the essential people are going to be there, no audience members. And that's really what I wanted to talk about in this video, because I was just, reading that earlier a couple of days ago, but on my way home from work, I was just kind of like pondering that in my mind, like no audience members, no audience members at a combat sports event. I was just wondering, like, how's that going to feel for the fighters, knowing that they'll be performing as scheduled, but with no audience? I know it's one thing, like if ticket sales were bad, or if it was like a early prelim card, there would be no audience there, or it's just like open, the open and fight night where people are still coming in and the fighters are already fighting. But those are different levels of fighters. Like on the undercard fighters, they know that nobody's going to be in their audience. But like, this is the main event we're talking about, a main event with nobody there. Like Kevin Lee versus Oliveira, nobody's going to be there watching them. I mean, of course, cameras are going to be there, but there's not going to be an audience there to actually cheer them on. And with no crowd there, I'm just wondering what that does for the fighter. Like, is he or she going to be less nervous with no audience there? Or do they feel like less motivated without a crowd? And that's a question I want to ask y'all in the comment section. Just leave your comments there for me. Do you think the fighters are going to be less nervous with no audience, or do you think they're going to feel like less motivated without a crowd? Now, for me, I'm going with the latter. I probably think it's the latter, because I feel like fighters, this is what they train for. They train for those big crowds. They train to entertain millions of people. They train to showcase their skills in front of millions of people and feel that support from the crowd that's entertained or moved by he or she. That's what they do this for. But of course, I know they got to do this to earn the money, of course. And, they want to compete against the top level opponent, whether we're watching or not. But at the same time, I feel like the crowd gives that extra boost, or that extra pizzazz, or extra zest to them, because it is the fans at the end of the day that makes these fighters, to a certain extent, because a fighter is an entertainer. I tell people this all the time, like a fighter is a martial artist, whether people are looking or not, but, they are entertainers, very similar to like an actor performing a play. He has to rehearse, he has to, run through his lines over and over for opening night so he can entertain people. A singer has to rehearse his or her songs, over and over until opening night to entertain people, to entertain people and inspire them. And that's what fighters do, even though they're competing with another person, and two can tango without an audience anyway, but that audience is what really gets the best out of them. That's why I think, like, whether a audience is cheering you or jeering you, I think that gives you energy. That's some type of energy there, having millions of people, watching you. You're kind of controlling people when you really think about it. You're really working their emotions that night, almost like a stand-up comedian. A stand-up comedian really can make an audience just one. And I think that's what makes fight night special. Fight nights are whenever millions of people channel into two people in the octagon or in the boxing ring. That might be too deep of thinking for people, but that's how I always kind of felt. Like once you're at these events, like these fight nights, it's like a different type of energy. You're there to support that person, and that they're really trying to do their best for you, not just themselves, but for you too. So I'm just kind of thinking like they might feel a little less motivated in this situation, especially somebody like Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee, he's a showman, you know, whether it's press conferences or open workouts. He likes to perform, you know, he likes to perform, you know, in front of a big crowd. And then you think about like the Brazilian fans performing in front of, not the Brazilian fans, but the Brazilian fighters performing in front of Brazilian fans. You know, that's another type of energy itself. You know, they want to do this for them. You know, they want to inspire these people. It's moving, you know, it's moving. But knowing that tonight is going to be like the whole joint's going to be silent, I'm just wondering what kind of energy is going to be there. Is it going to be more relaxing, or is it going to be just like this intense sparring session, you know, or are the fighters just going to just try to block it all out? You know, just going to block all this out and just do what they got to do. Of course, they're going to do what they got to do because they're earning their money. And shout out to Dana and shout out to these fighters that are still coming through because, you know, Dana knows these fighters got to make their money. They got to make their purse and they got to eat. So whether or not we're there to support them, they're still going to do it. But we'll be at home supporting them. You know, that's the good thing. You know, I'm going to be watching these fights tonight. And, you know, even like with Khabib and Tony Ferguson, if the fight, you know, if nobody's going to be at the fight, of course, we'll be at home watching. But yeah, man, that's all I got on this, guys. Like I said, I just was kind of curious on this whole situation. It's something we never experienced before, you know, with this whole virus scare. You know, it's like shut down a lot of events. But at least, you know, Dana White, he's still trying to put these closed venues on so we can be entertained at home, man. But let me know in the comment section what y'all think, man. Like, do you think the fighters are going to be less motivated, or do you think they're just going to, like, block it all out like they say they usually do? But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got on this one. Also, let me in the comment section know what's up with the buying of the toilet paper, man. Like, I'm trying to just do my regular shopping, but everybody's buying toilet paper out here because of this coronavirus scare. Like, is the toilet paper tied? I mean, is the coronavirus, is it tied to diarrhea or something, you know, because people are just like snatching everything up. I understood the Lysol wipes and the hand sanitizer, but wow, the toilet paper, man, is coronavirus like really, really like some type of shit scare virus or something? Just let me know, y'all. But that's all I got on this, guys. I'll be back with another video. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Peace.